Here's something almost nobody in the modern fasting conversation talks about. The traditions that did this most seriously, that produced the clearest minds, the deepest practitioners, the most documented transformation, none of them fasted randomly. They didn't fast on a Tuesday because they felt like it. They didn't pick a window because an app calculated their metabolic state. They fasted at specific times tied to specific rhythms, and they never fasted alone. The how of fasting mattered as much as the fact of fasting, and the modern conversation stripped the how down to almost nothing. So let's piece it together today. 5 episodes in, we know why every tradition did this, right? We know what the body does biologically, hour by hour. We know what the hunger exposes psychologically. We know about the ancestral layer, what the body inherited from the people who came before us. We know about the mythology of food, what surfaces when the management system goes offline. Today is going to be the operational layer. How did they actually do it? When did they fast? What did they pair it with? And how did they break it? Which turns out to be one of the most important and most ignored parts of the practice. Pay attention to this episode because the difference between a fast that changes you and a fast you merely survived often lives entirely in the details we're about to cover. Look at the calendar of every serious fasting tradition and notice something. None of the major fasts were set arbitrarily. Ramadan, the Islamic fast, follows the lunar calendar. It moves through the solar year, cycling through every season over a 33-year period. The fast is timed to the month in which the Quran was first revealed. But at the esoteric level, the Sufi level, the timing serves a deeper function. The moon governs the tidal pull on the body's water. On the 11th day of each lunar cycle, the moon forms a trine with the earth and the sun. The body's fluid environment shifts throughout the lunar month. The Sufis understood that fasting during the period of maximal lunar influence amplified the practice's effect on the mind and perception. Ekadashi, the Hindu fast, is the most precise example of lunar timing in any tradition. The 11th day of both the waxing and the waning moon phases, twice a month, 24 times a year. Each lunar day represents 12-degree increase in the moon's angular distance from the sun. During this specific lunar position, the earth experiences the lowest influence of atmospheric pressure of the lunar cycle. The tradition observed that on these days, the digestive system is naturally less efficient, the body already inclined toward lighter processing. Fasting on Ekadashi works with the body's natural lunar rhythm rather than against it. Yom Kippur, the Jewish Day of Atonement, falls in fall. After the harvest, before the hardest season, the body has stored what it needs to store. The community has gathered the abundance of the year. Now before the winter, the inner accounting happens. The fast time to the moment when the natural world itself is turning inward. Lent, the Christian 40 days, falls early spring, the most ancient timing of all. Every agricultural culture on earth marked spring as the season of scarcity before abundance. The stores from the previous harvest running low, the new growth not yet arrived. The body and the world in the same lean passage together. Jesus' 40 day in the wilderness, Moses' 40 days in Sinai, both in the tradition of meeting the divine precisely in the stripped down place. The pattern is consistent across every tradition. The fast is synced to something larger than the individual, the lunar cycle, the seasonal turn, the cosmic calendar. They were not being religious about timing for its own sake. They noticed that the body responds differently to fasting depending on when it happens. And they mapped their own practice to the moments when the response was the deepest. Here's the thing about the ancient protocols that the modern conversation missed entirely. The fast was never just a fast. Every serious fasting tradition paired the fast with something else. A practice, a discipline, an inner anchor. And the pairing was not optional decoration. It was the mechanism. The Sufis paired Ramadan with dhikr, the remembrance of God. The empty stomach amplified the remembrance, and the remembrance steadied the empty stomach. The two practices fed each other through the cleared space. What dhikr actually does in the body is that the repetition of a sacred name or phrase activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It gives the racing mind an anchor. It occupies the part of awareness that would otherwise spiral into food fantasies and appetite negotiations. The Sufis weren't being superstitious. They were addressing a real neurological problem, the unfed mind's tendency to chase comfort when the primary comfort source is removed with a precise solution. Give the mind something to hold, something it can hold continuously, something steadier than hunger. The Christian Desert Fathers did the same with Jesus' prayer. Lord Jesus, Son of God, have mercy on me. Repeated on the breath all day through the fast. Not as a religious performance, but as an anchor. The Hindu tradition paired fasting with a mantra, the silent or spoken repetition of a sacred syllable. The Buddhist tradition paired fasting days with intensive meditation practices. The Jewish fast spent entirely in prayer and communal confession. The pattern is not a coincidence. It's like a technology. The fast creates a cleared space. Cleared space without an anchor gets filled with whatever the mind is carrying. Whether it's anxiety, obsession, fantasy, negotiation, the pairing gives the cleared space a tenet of your choosing. In practical terms, for a modern fast, you don't need a religious practice to apply this, but you need something deliberate to put in the space the food used to occupy. Breath work, a prayer, a specific word or phrase you return to. The fast without an anchor is just deprivation. The fast with an anchor is the practice the traditions were describing. One more thing the traditions never stripped out: community. Ramadan is a communal fast. Everyone in the culture fasting together, breaking the fast together at the evening meal every single night. Not alone in the kitchen, but together. The vision quest, the indigenous tradition of solitary fasting in nature, was overseen. An elder or a teacher holding the space. Someone who had done the work before, watching from a respectful distance, so the faster was never alone. Yom Kippur is observed in synagogue. Lent is lived in the context of the church community. The Hindu traditions of fasting were embedded in the fabric of family and seasonal life. The traditions understood something the modern individual optimization fasting culture misses all the time. What surfaces during a fast sometimes needs a witness, not to fix it, not to explain it, just to know it happened, just to hold the space while the recording plays. If you are going to do a serious fasting work, find someone who has done it or do it alongside someone committed to the same practice. Not to compare notes or compete, to not be alone when the thing you didn't expect to find finally shows up. Now, the part of the protocol most people completely get wrong, and getting it wrong can undo almost everything you built. How you break a fast is not a footnote, it's half the practice. So here's the biology first, simply. During an extended fast, beyond 16-18 hours, your digestive system slows down considerably. The enzymes that break down food, the bile that emulsifies fat, the stomach acid that initiates protein digestion, all of them running at reduced capacity. The system has been reset. When you break the fast, the food arrives. When food arrives, the system has to come back online. If you break a significant fast with a large, heavy, complex meal, you are asking a system that just woke up to immediately run at full sprint. The result might be cramping, bloating, distress, and depending on the length of the fast, potentially serious electrolyte imbalance. Every serious fasting tradition had a protocol for breaking, every single one. The Sufis broke Ramadan with dates and water, slow and simple. Both are easily digestible. The digestive system comes back online gradually without shock. The Christian fasting traditions broke extended fasts with simple broth or soup before working back to solid food. The yogic tradition recommended diluted fruit juice first, then soft fruits, then gradually building complexity. Medical fasting research from clinical water-only fasting protocols at institutions like True North Health recommends participants eat a diet of fresh fruits or raw or steamed vegetables for 2 days before beginning a significant fast, preparing the digestive system and reintroduce food the same way. The principle across all of them is identical: gentle, simple, small, and gradual. And here's the deeper instruction that goes beyond the physical. The breaking of the fast is part of the practice, not the reward at the end. not the finish line, part of the practice. If you fast for 24 hours with discipline and awareness, and then break it by eating everything you have been thinking about, you have just taught your body the fast is a punishment. The food is the prize. And the next fast will be harder because the body now associates the fast with deprivation ending in reward. If you break the fast slowly, simply, with something small and clean, you have taught the body something different. The fast was a clarifying period, and the return to food is ordinary, not a reward, not a release, just a natural return to nourishment after a passage of intentional emptiness. The next fast will be easier because now the body understands the whole arc, not just the deprivation, but the full cycle. One final thing most people completely miss: the fast doesn't end when you eat. The clearing process that activated during the fast, the autophagy, the mitophagy, the emotional surfacing, the metabolic recalibration, continue running for up to 48 hours after you return to eating. This is going to be the second half of the lesson. The clarity that was building during the fast, it may peak the day after you break it. The dreams that carry information, which the traditions documented across every lineage, are often most vivid the night after breaking the fast. The body is still in the clearing state, still processing, still integrating, which means what you eat in the first 48 hours after a significant fast matters. Whether you return immediately to full noise and stimulation, or whether you give the system a gradual re-entry, determines how much of the work you actually keep. Eat clean, move gently, sleep well, let the work finish. Most people miss the second half of the lesson because they think the lesson ended when the eating resumed. It didn't. The ancient protocols were not arbitrary. The timing synced to the lunar cycles and seasons were precision, not superstition. The pairing with breath, prayer, mantra, remembrance was neurological technology, not religious decoration. The community, the fact that no tradition sent people to fast alone, was wisdom about what surfaces and what it needs. And the breaking of the fast, slow, simple, intentional, was the completion of the practice, not its conclusion. Most modern fasting strips all of this out. It keeps the caloric restriction and calls it the practice. That's not the practice. It's a container. What fills the container, the timing, the anchor, the witnessing, the gentle return, is what makes the container do anything worth doing. Episode 7, the esoteric layer, what the traditions believe the fast was actually unlocking in the body, the pineal, the third eye, the seal on perception, and why the clarity that arrives during a serious fast is not just a side effect. It was always the destination. So I'll see you there.